Yes, student, in up to last 2 or 3 lecture we have gone through ray optics. Let's resume electrostatic again. Last time in electrostatic, when I have taken last lecture of electrostatic, we have gone through Coulomb's law, but that was scalar form. Means scalar in the sense just magnitude, according to which force acting between two charges can be given by F equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R square. This is force between two charges Q1 and Q2 kept at some distance R, or magnitude of force. But as force is vector quantity, so naturally we are supposed to discuss Coulomb's law in a vector form. Like if you remember in gravitation, Newton's law of gravitation have been given in both scalar as well as vector form. Now to have Coulomb's law in a vector form, take two charges Q1 and Q2. Wait, better I'll go in this way. Q1 and Q2 separated by some distance R. Now, if I represent vector which is pointing from Q1 to Q2, then it represents position vector of charge Q2 with respect to charge Q1. And I'll write down it as R21, means position vector of 2 with respect to 1. Similarly, this represents R12, position vector of 1 with respect to 2. This is position vector of 2 with respect to 1. Tail is towards 1, head is towards. So this is 1 with respect to 2. So in that case, if I am writing F12 as force acting on charge 1 by charge 2. Now I represent in a vector form. Then it will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R square. And here I'll write down R12. But see, still we are having only magnitude terms. So to give direction, we'll write down R12 cap. This is force acting on charge 1 by charge 2 in a vector form. Similarly, if I write down F21, that will be force on charge 2 by charge 1, then it is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R21 square into R21 K. These both equations are representing Coulomb's law in a vector form. Magnitude wise same, both equations. This is force on 1 by 2, this is force on 2 by 1. Now see, this part is same for both equations. But here unit vector I have represented R12 while here R21. And see the figure. R12 and R21 are opposite to each other. So can you say that F12 force on 1 by 2 is equal to minus of F21 force on 2 by 1. These two forces are equal and opposite. Like force on 1 by second charge is 10 Newton, then same force will be on first charge, but the direction will be opposite. If you remember, same concept was there for gravitation. But still there is a difference between vector form of gravitational law and vector form of Coulomb's law. What is that? As far as gravitational force is concerned, it is always attractive. But Coulombian force may be attractive or may be repulsive. So attractive force will represent by negative sign, how I'll discuss, and repulsive force by positive sign. How? See this. Again, consider two charges Q1 and Q2. Okay. One condition I am taking, Q1 into Q2 less than 0. Q1 into Q2 less than 0 means both charges are opposite. One should be positive and second should be negative. Now see this. This represents position vector of charge 1 by charge 2. Now if I am writing F12 as force on charge 1 by charge 2, then as I have written, it is 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R12 square into R12 cap. But see the figure properly. What I have written, Q1 into Q2 less than 0 means both charges are unlike. One is positive and one is negative. So in that case, Q1 will be attracted towards the Q2. And as Q1 is getting attracted towards the Q2, so force on Q1 by Q2 I should draw in this direction. Because Q1 will be accelerated or attracted towards the Q2. So Q1 will move towards Q2 in this way, if it is free to move. So will it be F12? So see, here R12 and F12 are opposite to each other. So attractive force I'll write down in this way. F12 minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R12 square into R12. And direction of R12 and F12 are opposite. R12 is in this direction while F12 is opposite to it. That's why it is negative. Attractive force negative. When we are discussing force between two charges. For multiple, it depends on the resultant. Now same way, see this. Q1, Q2, now condition I am taking Q1, Q2 greater than 0. Q1, Q2 greater than 0 means both charges are like, both are positive or both are negative. Now, first of all, this is R12, position vector of charge 1 with respect to charge 2. Now here, both are like means both are repelled by each other. So Q1 is repelled by Q2. Now think, if Q1 is repelled by Q2, then in which direction it will move? Yes, will it be towards this? That's why this will be F12. If I am writing over here, it will be F21. As Q1 is repelled by Q2, so it gets pushed towards this direction. So this will be F12. So here if I write down equation F12, then it is 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R12 square into R12 cap. But see the figure properly. Here R12 and F12 both are in same direction, so here we will put positive sign. In this figure, R12 and F12 were opposite to each other, so we have introduced negative sign because these two vectors are opposite. Here these both vectors are in same direction, so we can keep positive. So this was vector representation of Coulomb's law. Further, we will go for principle of superposition. An important concept is this here. Attractive force were represented by positive and repulsive by negative. Student, this lecture have pure textual content. At the end of lecture, last 2 or 3 points I will discuss for MCQ point of view, which are important, but right now it is purely textual content. But after all, fundamental also you have to prepare. Yes, we will continue. Yes. We have discussed force between two charges. Now, principle of superposition for Coulombian force. Principle of superposition in the sense, when two or more than two charges are exerting force on any charge, then what will be resultant force? For that, think of this situation. Consider system of n number of charges q1, q2 up to qn. Take one more charge q. Then naturally this charge q will experience force by all these charges. For that, let's say this is position vector of q with respect to q1, which I am writing as r1. Same way, r2 is position vector of q with respect to q2. Up to so on, Rn is position vector of charge q with respect to qn. In that case, if F1 is force acting on charge 1 by charge q1, then it is 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q by r1 square, and for direction it is r1 cap. Similarly, F2, if it is force acting on charge q by charge q2, then it is 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 q2q by r2 square into r2 cap. In similar fashion, 3, 4 up to so on, if I am writing Fn as force acting on charge q by nth charge qn, then what it will be? 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 qn q by rn square into rn cap. These are the equation of force acting on charge q by different charges. So, net force on charge q is F. Better we use the wording. Net force on q is F. So, can you say that F is equal to F1 plus up to so on Fn, which means when two or more than two charges are exerting force on any charge, then net force acting on that charge is equal to vector sum of force produced due to every individual charge. When two or more than two charges are exerting force on any one charge, then net force on that charge is vector sum of force due to every individual charge. So if I substitute value of F1 plus up to so on Fn, in all terms, what is common? Q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 is common. Inside the bracket, q1 by r1 square, r1 cap, plus up to so on, qn by rn square into rn cap. Now see this. Here subscript is ranging from 1 to n. So if I am writing in terms of common variable I, what will be? Q upon 4 pi epsilon 0. Summation of I is equal to 1 to n. Qi by Ri square into Ri cap. This is principle of superposition of Coulombian force, according to which when any charge experiences force by two or more than two charges, then net force is vector sum of force due to every individual charge. Student, whatever I have gone through up to right out is purely textual concept. Now we will shift to MCQ part, or we can say application part, how to apply these to solve the problem. Straight away I will never go through that because I am always in that part, or I will always in that belief that you should know the fundamental first and then go for application. Now for application we have to treat this in entire different manner. I will go through that. Yes. What we have gone through, F1 2, force on charge 1 by charge 2, 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by R12 square into R12 cap. Similarly, F21. Vector representation we have gone through in this way as per textual concept. But as far as solving the problem, remember 3 points. One is never consider sign of charge when you are calculating resultant force on any charge. Only consider sign of direction. What I said, never consider sign of charge. Look how. If I take charges like this, Q, Q. Now both charges are equal in both the sense, sign as well as magnitude. Now at the center of this I am keeping one more charge Q, which is also positive. So in that case, if I represent force on charge Q by this Q, I should put arrow in this direction. Q is repelled by Q because both are positive. Same way, when I am finding force on charge Q by this Q, I should put arrow in this direction because this Q is repelled by this Q. Let's say this distance is R, this distance is also R. If this force is F, naturally this force is also going to be F. Why? Product of charges is same, distance is same. To see the figure, here both forces are equal and opposite. The net force 0. Although if magnitude I take, it will be 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R square. This will also be 1 over 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R square. So magnitude wise same if I consider sign of charge, but direction wise they are opposite, so net force 0. But instead of that, see this situation. Q and here minus Q. And this figure, this Q is repelled by this Q. Both are positive. So this will be direction of force. At the same time, this Q will be attracted by this Q. Attractive force F. Now in this figure, both forces are in same direction. So F net will be twice of F. If you consider sign of charge, you will get wrong answer because it is Q by R square, Q minus Q by R square. If you are adding that, you are wrong. Why? You don't have to consider sign of charge. What you have to consider? Sign of direction. Here both forces are in same direction, so total it is addition. Here both forces are in opposite direction, so total it was subtraction. So this was first point. Whenever you are finding resultant force on any charge due to more than two or more than two charges, never consider sign of charge, only consider sign of direction. And remaining two concepts are quite simple. That is from your 11th vector algebra. What is that? When two vectors A and B are at certain angle theta, as you are knowing, what is resultant vector? Under root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Similarly, for two forces F1 and F2 at angle theta. Two forces F1 and F2 at certain angle theta. Resultant F will be under root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. This is second point. Instead of using this textual formula, better you apply more a vector algebra concept. And third is, again, vector concept. Parallel component of any vector is cosine and perpendicular is sine. These three point will be enough to solve any problem of resultant force. First is this. while finding force on any charge, resultant force on any charge by two or more than two charges, never consider sign of charge, consider sign of direction. Second is, try to solve problem by using law of cosine when you are finding resultant of two force. And third is, again that 11 simple vector algebra concept, parallel component of vector is by cos and perpendicular by sine. Yes student, on base of this, there are some question in the assignment sheet which I have already given to you. Try to solve 2 or 3 odd figure I am going to discuss in a very small lecture of next to come. Meanwhile, prepare this and how to apply this.